Hey everybody, what's up? It is Cheeseman here, one of your collectible people. I love collecting things, and the thing I think I love collecting maybe more than anything else out there is Christmas ornaments. Wow, Hallmark has nailed it in so many ways of doing so many different fandoms and things with all this beautiful collectible stuff over so many things. You can go from NFL, you can go to your favorite movies, or just classic Christmas with Santa Claus and all that. And I know we are past Christmas right now, which is so heartbreaking because me as a person, I think that Christmas, holiday, all this sort of winter celebration, I feel like it should go through March. That's just my own personal opinion, that it should be a season and not just like 1 or 2 months. You have Thanksgiving to Christmas, take your tree down. People like that, shame on you. My family always at least goes through the end of January, or if you're my parents, probably to the end of February. I bet their tree is still up. My tree is still up, but my personal belief is that by Super Bowl Sunday, everything goes down. But because of other things going on, I am going to do 1 week earlier, and February is the end of my Christmas season. But anyways, what I'm here to talk about today is that Hallmark always does such a beautiful job on ornaments, as you know. But the most beautiful thing that you can have with Hallmark ornaments is actually the discounts. So there are popular items that you get every year, but the moment after Christmas, you get the percentages off. So it can go from 50% off to 75% off and all that. And even stores like Kohl's and other places will sell these online. And these things gain value over the years, as you know. So anyways, I'm going to talk about the hits and misses of 2023. I know it seems late and this is the Christmas season. Some of these things are probably still on sale right now, so you can get them before they go from being a fraction of what they're worth to probably double or tripled because of the popularity of the fandoms that you are with. So this year, every year I think like, okay, this is the year I'm just gonna get a few ornaments, but I think this year of 2023 actually was probably my biggest year that I've ever had. When I'm looking at all the ornaments I got, one of them is not Hallmark. Actually, 2 of them are not. But I ended up getting 20 ornaments this year, which is a lot. It's a lot. So I'm going to just jump into it. And I'm going to go with the not Hallmark, just as a little warm-up section. Our friend Drew got us this beautiful, just Guinness looking ornament of it. It's a harp. It's a little holy. This was actually made in Bethlehem, and he got this for us. This is just my little like warm up here. This is not Hallmark, but this was my number 20 ornament of the year. So I'm excited to get into it. I will talk about what was post Christmas and what was during Christmas and all that. So just to jump into it, I got this Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was actually, I got it at like a dollar store kind of a thing, but it was Hallmark branded. This was only $5. It's a little more hollow than probably what you'd get at the Hallmark store, but for you Indiana Jones fans, this is a pretty good ornament to just hang on a tree for only $5. So it looks like an old vintage VHS tape right there. So I'm going with the little cheapies right now, but I'm going to get into the $20 plus range right now. So many of you out there may or may not have known of Sega Dreamcast. I was the person that bought this. So I grew up most of my life not owning a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that. I had that through cousins. So when this Dreamcast came out, I was very excited. Like, I'm going to be the guy that has it the first year. So Dreamcast has a lot of nostalgic references to me. And Sonic with Dreamcast being Sega was a big part of this. So I'm going to just quickly show you. This is a very good 3-dimensional ornament. And this one does have sound, and I'm going to play the sound for you right now. If I know the right button to push. Okay. Let's See, it's the power button, of course, as it should be. So it's like a longer song, and you will notice that in this part, you see a Sonic the Hedgehog figure that kind of popped up during that, which is pretty cool. Again, you see that pop up. Turning off the sound, but this is a pretty good creation. This one, I think might have lasted past Christmas, that you could have got it at a discount, but it was special to me, so I did get it at a normal pricing kind of thing. So I'm going to jump into a few of these. This is actually probably my favorite figurine of the year, which surprisingly this one did last after Christmas. So you could have got this at a 50% or 75% off, this Jabba the Hutt. This one's like $50 kind of a thing. Look at this. And some of the best technology that you've ever seen as far as Hallmark ornaments go, because it was like made of kind of a rubbery base. And look at this. So like really good technology on this. So this is like the first, I would say the first year that Hallmark has done like a rubbery base kind of ornament type thing. So the eyes didn't move, which is fine. I mean, this is a figurine. This is $50 or less, but you could have got this for half off, then probably 75% off. I think the main reason this one didn't sell out was just because of the price. Like it was like $50, which is a lot to pay for like a Christmas ornament. But like, I mean, the way they did the technology, this figure doesn't move, but then Jabba the Hutt moves. But oh my gosh, like this is the future of Hallmark right here. Such a good figurine. So speaking of Jabba, like we also have a ship here that this was another one that was like super high discount. Like I almost left the store. I did not get this originally, but because it was such at a high discount, this was 75% off. I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and get that. And this has Han Solo talking in here. So I basically have a Star Wars tree that I do each year. And last year was such a great one because it connected the figures. They had this whole dialogue thing. If you do a quick turnaround, you can see the Star Wars tree at that angle. Switch around, zoom in, look at that. Oh my gosh. Such a great tree. Like Star Wars and Christmas. It's a weird combination, but you know, I've done it every year, and what they did this year and last year is just remarkable. But again, look out for those discounts. So I'm gonna probably quickly go through most of the rest of these. Being a big Disney fan, Sword of the Stone was always special to me. This is a good figurine. This does not make any sound, but it's very screen accurate the way they did that. And as you know, King Arthur was the only one that could pull the sword from the stone. I tend to buy things that feel nostalgic to my childhood. Like there's not a lot of things. I do have some Stranger Things figurines on the tree. That's some of the more recent kind of things, and Walking Dead, which I have on the other side of the tree that I won't show, but and I do have some of the Marvel things as well, but most of the stuff I collect tend to be from my childhood because it just gives you that good old happy fuzzy feeling. So speaking of Disney as well, since I just did Sword of the Stone, there was a great figurine of Captain Hook and Peter Pan this year. Man, look at that. It's just such a good design, like at the top of the ship, and I just love the design. So Disney always knocks out of the park as far as that goes. And then one more that was very special to me, Oliver and Company. As a kid, like I just loved. Dodger was kind of like that cool guy that everybody wanted to be like. I wish they kind of maybe had the shades on him, because when Dodger had those like Ray-Ban looking glasses on him, it was like really cool. But this is Oliver and Dodger, but a very special movie. And this actually my mom bought me. There's like a few ornaments. I'm like, Mom, can you buy me these ones? Because it'll be extra special just knowing that my mom was part of the childhood that made me a fan of these things, and she bought me. But most of these I either bought during the time or especially at the discount, and that's part of the reason I have so many this year. So let's jump into Jurassic Park, which is very special to me. I'm wearing the hat right now. Look at that. You know, at the Return of the Jedi, which went good with the Star Wars section earlier. So they did the Jurassic Park Jeep. The wheels do turn, which is cool. There's no sound or anything, which is okay. But I did get this one at a discount. So just so you know, this Jurassic Park did do really good with the 50 to 75% off, as well as the Dilophosaurus, which I don't know how partly to do with the coloring, because the way they advertised in the box was very screen accurate. But when they actually put these out, there's a very faded look to the Dilophosaurus, which kind of made me not want to buy it real quick as a big Jurassic Park fan. Because if you look at the Mattel figures and other things that are doing it very screen accurate, this one kind of fell a little behind. And look, you get a little bit of that shaving cream bottle there that Dennis Nedry had, which makes it pretty cool. But this kind of fell a little short. I think there might have been either some other T-Rex stuff. I never saw it personally because it might have sold out, but both these Jurassic Park items did go on the 50% off track. So I would consider that not a miss necessarily, but an accomplishment for myself to be able to kind of buy this later on. So thank you for getting them at the discount, but not ones I bought right away, but luckily it all worked out on my benefit. So let's jump into Nintendo. Has done a great job. Like they've done several different things. We have the figurines here of the controller, and then we have like Mario. Then there's obviously like Sega Genesis, all that stuff. So Hallmark's been really doing a good job, and this is sadly the end of me collecting these because I've hit all the ones that hit my childhood. But Nintendo obviously did the Mario. This flips up and down, which is cool, so you can see the thing. And then whenever they do the sound, they actually do the button that powers them on. Such a good sound, because that reminds you of like when you beat the level or whatever. So such a good little sound bite, and it's just that one singular sound that it does. But again, over here on the tree, you get all that kind of stuff with the just a brief little sample, and then the Super Nintendo. So, like, they've done such a good job with the consoles. And again, I did the Sega Dreamcast earlier, but love these. And sadly, I've come to the end because these are the ones I played as a kid. So I now have them all. Now back to Marvel. Marvel is very special when it comes to these things, and Loki just came out with their season 2, which feels like it's only gonna be a 2-season show, but they did a great one. My nephew Austin is a big fan of Loki. This is probably his biggest thing, which I don't have a Thor yet, which this makes me feel like I need to get a Thor to kind of add to the collection. But look, they did such a good job on Loki here. Good pose. He has his full outfit on and everything. So I'm very happy with what they did. And this was another one that was on discount. So I went after Christmas and I bought myself and my nephew this at 50% off. It could have possibly got to the 75% off, but this was one of the ones that didn't sell out. So you never know, like definitely go to Hallmark store after Christmas, and you never know what's gonna actually be on the sales rack. So Loki did make it to the sales rack this year. And speaking of the sales rack, here are some other ones as well. So quickly, there was Princess Leia with the Ewoks, very good figurine. You really got to be careful with what you do with Princess Leia on the faces, because the Star Wars fans get very protective of if you cover her likeness well, because they actually have had to redo Black Series figurines due to them not covering her well. But this was a nice one. I got this, I think, at the 50 to 70% off kind of range. So sadly, this one did not sell out, which is not sadly on our range. But I think it really did turn out pretty well. So you never know with the Star Wars ones, like always look out like in the beginning, right after Christmas, and then a week or two after, because they will go on the discount. So that was one of them. Morpheus was one of those as well. Collected him. I do have a Neo here on the tree, which I was excited that they could partner pretty well with those as well. So I was glad to get a Neo and a Morpheus together, and then him being in the chair, and then as you can see, he's got both the pills in the hand. So he's got both the blue and the red pill in there. Such a good kind of little ornament they did. Shazam was definitely a 75% off thing, which I think would have probably done better if it was the first film. Not to dig into things, but I feel like the first Shazam was a much better film than the second one, The Fury of the Gods. But the likeness is really good on this, the three-dimensionality, and then I really do like how this turned out. And to get it at 75% off, like Shazam and Zachary Levi, we love you as the con guy, and I'm happy that I was able to get this at a good discount. And again, another reasons why this was probably my biggest collecting year. Guardians 3 was a big takeoff this year. That's such a good film. I don't know if I liked the film as much as the first two, but Rocket's storyline was phenomenal. It's hard to watch, I will say that. But you always do need to watch the faces of the figurines too, because this felt a little like I almost didn't get this particular figure because it felt a little rough on the face, but then I came back to realize like I like the way they did the paint on this because it felt a little more furry and realistic than some of the other ones did. So I ended up picking this one, but this ended up being one of those 75% off ones. Rocket didn't make his money as much as he could this year, but I was happy to get the discount. And the same thing with Groot. So this is almost like teenage Groot that they did. Really good figurine, like very stable, very well made. Like this is a good figurine of Groot right there. So that went well with that. And this one I actually got at Disney. This was a really cool Yoda figure. It's great to place the lights kind of within that to light it personally. I do think of Christmas lights as lighting. So the way I kind of place things on the tree, I do think of how things are lit. Right now I do have some extra lighting on, so it does light things. But when the lighting's not in here, I think of how to use the lights to light the figurines. So this is a great one to do those Yoda type colors on. But I just feel like it was a great design. This will be probably still, if you go to Walt Disney World, there's a Christmas store there, and you can still find those there. As well, most of these figurines, whether it's still a discount, like that's what I'm trying to say right now, is like you could probably get a lot of these still at a discount or what the normal price is, maybe plus 5 or 10 if it was a popular item. But once you get past this year, these things are just going to go up in value, especially if they're fandom or collectible items. So this was probably one of my favorite, if not favorite, of the year. Michael Keaton Batman. We know he returned in The Flash, but this is the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. Such a good figurine. The way they did that, the likeness is great. I just love this figure, and this will be one of the favorites that is going to hang on the tree for years to come. So I am very excited to have this. Hopefully they do maybe the Jack Nicholson Joker, which would go good alongside this, which I don't know if they did in the past, but the likeness just gets better as the years go, I would say, for sure. So I think we've come nearly close to the end of it, and with Super Bowl approaching right now, like I think this is the first Browns figurine that Hallmark has done over the years. Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns, just such a good running back. The unfortunate event was that he got injured. So this was like the year of Nick Chubb. I bought like a signed signature of him. I got this. I got like a t-shirt, all this stuff, and a jersey. Like I got so much Nick Chubb stuff, but he was not out. He was not playing this season, unfortunately. So, but it's just good to see that the Browns are relevant now. And this is, I think, the first ever Hallmark ornament of the Cleveland Browns. Hopefully they'll do a Jim Brown, which is one of the highest running backs of all time, and that they'll start doing Browns players from the years to come. And I don't know if that has to do with contracts with Hallmark, but I'm just very glad to see that because there's been other teams, but never a Browns player. So Nick Chubb. This was also one of the ones on the discount rack, so you could have got this at like 75% off. But it could have been just because of the injury, but I'm also in California right now, so you know, Ohio teams aren't always the most relevant team. So just taking a quick look, this is all the figurines of this year that I got. I just want to also list personally some honorable mentions of things that probably sold out this year. Haunted Mansion really knocked it out of the park this year. They did 3 figures, but they were around like $50 each, of different moments of the Haunted Mansion, with the floating head, the accordion, and even the coffin that opened up. And they even had a tree topper that they did of the Haunted Mansion. And they also did that moment with Han Solo and Leia, where it's like, I love you, I know. Like they had like this big ornament like that. And there's certain ones that sell out quickly, especially this Haunted Mansion or the Star Wars kind of stuff. But a lot of these that I ended up getting did go on the sales rack. So it's unfortunate that I spent the amount of money I did at times on them, but luckily some of these were lower, and that's kind of why I went a little crazy on them this year. So watch out for what's to come. I always tell myself every year, this is the year I bought the most, and then next year I'll just collect a few, but then just because of the sales and the different things and the things I enjoy collecting, I buy more. So I have so many trees, and collect your trees and different things. Let's extend Christmas, and I will be the first to tell you, Merry Christmas 2024. Collect Hallmark ornaments, some of the best collectibles that you can get. The likeness, they really take this seriously, and thank you for watching. You can follow us on theconguy.com, and I am Cheeseman on the couch, or Cheeseman on the chair, depending on what I am sitting on. You can follow me at Cheese on Couch, and especially follow us on theconguy.com, and watch us for more collectible items coming soon.